Here are all the Sunday Night Football previews from last season, which is their Super Bowl season.
The Dallas Cowboys hit the road for Week 1 off to Tampa Bay to take on the Super Bowl champ Buccaneers. The Bucs offense still being run by that number 12 guy. He's looking to start 2021 playing the way he finished 2020. The Chicago Bears will head west to begin the new football season off to L.A., where they will find a Rams squad ready to play in front of fans for the first time in their new stadium. Those fans eager to see if Matthew Stafford is the missing ingredient to getting back to the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs hit the road for some Sunday Night Football action, and this is some juicy action as we get another round of Mahomes versus Lamar. Mahomes looking exactly like you'd expect him to look in his first 2021 contest. The San Francisco 49ers are finally playing at home, and what a way to start things off at Levi, welcoming the Green Bay Packers to town, who have a new slogan: "It was just one game." Well, here it is. It's like an early season Super Bowl. It's what we've all been waiting for. Belichick versus Brown. Antonio going back home. Wait, that's not it? Okay, it's Belichick versus Gronk, the former Patriot tight end. Not him either. Then forget it. Let's just get to the preview, because that other reunion has been talked about plenty. Here's your recap of it. These two guys were with each other a long time and won lots of Super Bowls. Good? This will also be the first time they've ever faced each other after both losing the week before. Tom Brady getting a taste of that Rams defense, which must have had too much meat in it for his liking.
I didn't think I had time for college, but with WGU, I can earn an accredited degree on my own terms. A nonprofit university that lets me fit school around my schedule and take tests when I'm ready.
The Buffalo Bills are under the bright lights of Sunday Night Football this week on the road, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, who calmed their fan base down a little by getting back on track last week against the Eagles. Let's go to work. Let's go. The Seattle Seahawks fly off to Pittsburgh this week, their wings clipped a bit, to take on the Steelers, who may want to have NFL Network's Kyle Brandt deliver a pregame speech every week to Big Ben.
Are you not here at just a short
The San Francisco 49ers are at home this week, coming off a bye. The Indianapolis Colts rolling into town, coming off their second win of the year, and coming off another nice game for Carson Wentz, who didn't have to throw much, but when he did, the results were more than favorable. The Dallas Cowboys, off last week, take on the equally rested Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football this week. Both teams coming off a timely bye that allowed some of their stars to get healthy, which sets up a nice little showdown, because on one side, you have one of the hottest passing attacks in football. The Tennessee Titans head to L.A. this week for a little Sunday Night Football action with the L.A. Rams, a perfect matchup for the last game of the day until the news made the rounds. The king is dead, so to speak. Derrick Henry's season is over, so now the Titans have to forge ahead without him, and they start their new journey against Matthew Stafford, who just got done slapping down 3 Bills through the air, 3 TDs as well, rating over 125. The Las Vegas Raiders are hosts for Sunday Night Football this week, welcoming in the Kansas City Chiefs, who have now won 2 games in a row, and Patrick Mahomes finally ended a game without being picked off. The Pittsburgh Steelers are off to Hollywood for Week 11, headed there to play the AFC reps of SoFi, the LA Chargers. The Bolts QB suffering another short circuit last week, and not the kind that made that robot in the 80s think he was alive. The Buffalo Bills play in New Orleans on Thanksgiving night. The Saints hoping their secondary can lead the way against Josh Allen, who had another dud last week. The Cleveland Browns hit the road for Sunday Night Football this week. The Baltimore Ravens, the home team, both clubs feeling fortunate to pick up their latest wins. The Dog Pound feeling thankful they still have one of the best running backs in the game. The Denver Broncos are in Kansas City this week for Sunday Night Football, taking on the Chiefs, who are hoping their bye week allowed Patrick Mahomes to figure some things out. The Chicago Bears are off to Green Bay this week. Packers are rested, had their bye last week, feeling pretty good about themselves too. Took out the Rams before their break. The New Orleans Saints are off to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. An intriguing matchup, being you have Tom Brady against what might be considered his regular season kryptonite. But more on that in a moment. Brady's last 2 weeks, back to cheating Father Time. 360-plus yards in each game, 6 TDs, no picks. Last week, game winner in OT. The Washington football team is off to Dallas. Cowboys riding a 3-game win streak into this one. One of those 3 wins coming against the team. These two just squared off recently, of course. Dallas's defense was the star. Came up with 4 takeaways. The Minnesota Vikings are in Green Bay this week against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who are on cruise control as they wind down the season. Rodgers dropped 3 more TD passes down against Cleveland. No INTs. The LA Chargers head to the Strip for their final regular season game of the year. The Raiders currently outside, hoping to get into the dance. Justin Herbert and company currently inside the hall, hoping to stay there. Herbert helping LA get there after they beat Denver in Week 17.